Abuja, I am Dennis Adigunloye. The headlines. Counting of votes begin in Ghana's election. Nigeria's tax administration system long overdue for reforms, says Minister of Information.
That the executive will listen to and work with all stakeholders to ensure that all concerns are duly and comprehensively addressed.
And First Lady Oluremi Tinubu receives honorary doctorate from Federal University of Technology, Owerri.
We want you to be green ambassadors, and I look forward to working with some of you in the nearest future.
We begin in Accra, Ghana, where voting has officially closed and counting of ballots has commenced in the country's presidential and parliamentary elections. And across the capital city were some international observers, including those of ECOWAS, who monitored the process of ballot sorting and counting, which went without hitches. Kelvin Ewanyaye reports.
Voting closed by 5 o'clock in the evening, in compliance with the Electoral Commission of Ghana regulations. Sorting of ballots and counting subsequently commenced under the watchful eyes of party agents and security personnel.
46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51.
The ECOWAS observation mission visited some voting centers to observe the process.
Receiving from our situation rooms are fairly good. I think by now, counting have started in all the polling stations because voting stopped at 5 p.m. So we are still calling on everybody to remain peaceful, to wait for the collation of the results, and wait for the final result to be announced by the Electoral Commission.
Meanwhile, other international observers, including the West African Network of Peace and the National Peace Council, set up situation rooms to monitor the election.
Even though there are things that are concerning, we see a lot of positivity in terms of the ability to have access to stakeholders that can support.
Collation of results are expected to begin later tonight as they arrive from the various regions. In Accra, Kelvin Ewanyaye, Nta News.
And for more details on the elections in Ghana, we are joined by Paul Ejime, an international affairs analyst and election observer, to give us more updates. Good to have you on the news at 10.
Thank you for having me.
Right, many candidates are vying for elective positions, including that of the president. From your view, as Ghanaians await the results, who do you think is likely to win?
Well, I wish I knew. Well, it's still up in the air. It's still early days because the collation of results is underway, and no person other than the Electoral Commission is allowed to make that pronouncement. But the counting is still there. It's still very early, and the parties are following the collation and at the collation centers with their agents all over the place, and then and the security agencies are also doing their best to make sure there is no violence, because yesterday, even though the whole thing started peacefully, but during the day,
Unfortunately, our connection with Paul Ejime there is frozen. Maybe we'll get to him. All right, I'm hearing that he's now back with us. Go ahead, sir.
So I was saying that the police reported that there were some incidents yesterday, and resulting in 2 fatalities. 2 people were killed. Investigation is going on, but that is to say that elections are fraught with this type of danger, particularly in Africa and West Africa. Is becoming a trigger and driver of conflicts, and that is what the political stakeholders must avoid. It's not a do or die. It is about changing, leaders when they don't perform, and so it should be taken as it's process. It's not an event, and so that is what it is. But that is what is happening. The nation is waiting in anticipation of whether the government of outgoing President Muhammad Akufo-Addo will continue, or the opposition party of John Mahama will come back. Remember that John Mahama had also done 4 years previously after the death of the former president. So these are the 2 dominant parties, NPP and NDC, in Ghana politics since the return of multi-party democracy in 1992. This is their 9th election, and then 3 times the power has changed hands, like Nigerians will say. And they are proud about it, to say that they have done it before, they can do it again.
All right, and could you give us any insight into anything exceptional or different that you might have observed during the electoral process?
Well, there were a few things. For instance, there were no public rallies as thought, even though the 2 parties had their rallies on the 5th, the final day. What is trending in Ghana is what they call door-to-door campaigning. They call it retail campaigning. Another, word in phrase in the political or electoral lexicon. And there were questions as to, is it that they are afraid of not, when there is allegations of vote buying, is it that what they cannot bring out in public, that they are now giving them to the voters in secret? Well, that's, there's nothing you do in politics without, reaction or response. But that is one thing that has been there. Another is that the 2 candidates are from the same region, the northern region. Mahama is a Christian, and then Vice President Mahamudu Bayuma is a Muslim. So ethnicity is taken to the down front, and then this is testing Ghana's religious tolerance, as it were. And so these are the issues, and economy, corruption, security, education, particularly the economy, the performance. There is really hardship everywhere in Africa. So the government is saying, well, it's not it's a global thing, so they are not to blame. But we wait to see whether ordinary Ghanaians will, the voters will believe the opposition that this government is the cause, and vote for us, and then we will change the situation.
We'll watch this space. Mr. Paul Jime, many thanks for giving us your insights on the process there in Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly are gaining wider acceptability as civil society organizations, clerics, the academia and public relations practitioners have endorsed the process of reforming tax laws and administration in the country. The conversation agreed on the need to repeal obsolete laws which impede tax administration. Surajo Abdullahi reports that the consensus among speakers at the just concluded annual general meeting of the Kaduna chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations is an endorsement of the federal government's efforts to reinvigorate the nation's economy.
Issues on tax reform was the focus of this 2024 annual lecture of Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, as captured on this year's theme, Tax Reform, the role of public relations in fostering constructive dialogue for national economic renaissance. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, says reforming tax system is key in the Renew Hope agenda drive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reset the Nigerian economy on irreversible paths for sustainable development.
It is very inspiring and heartwarming to see Nigerians from all walks of life coming out to express their views and opinions on these matters of critical national importance. As such, it is the very essence and the meaning of democracy itself. In spite of the challenge of trust deficit that tends to crop up around matters of governance in Nigeria, we have still been able to have what can be adjudged as a robust debate on this very sensitive national issue. President Tinubu has also been very clear that the executive will listen to and work with all stakeholders to ensure that all concerns are duly and comprehensively addressed.
Other critical stakeholders, experts, traditional and religious leaders share constructive opinion with a view to harmonizing divergent interests and deepening dialogue and discussion.
We monitor what happens, and because we monitor trends, we analyze trends. And because we analyze trends, we become prophets, because we predict consequences.
The forum opens opportunity for further consultation, engagement, and comprehensive public education. From Kaduna, Suraj Abdullahi, Nta News.
And the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, says the induction of new members of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations is a reaffirmation of the critical role professional public relations officers play in shaping the narrative of the nation, in fostering transparency, accountability and trust between government and the people. This formed the Minister's message at a special induction of Information and Public Relations officers by the NIPR. Haman Jabani reports.
With the categorization of public relations in civil service, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations is allowing information and public relations officers to be officially recognized as those that can practice the profession. Achieving these are 421 officers for direct and master class.
I hereby induct you. Congratulations.
Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris represented says as professionals now, they are tasked with critical responsibility of ensuring that truth prevail over falsehood as well as fact triumph over fiction.
In a world driven by information, the role of public relations professionals has never been more vital. As the bridge between organizations, governments, and the people, you carry responsibility of ensuring the accurate, timely, and meaningful information that it reaches the public. Your work fosters understanding, builds trust, and helps to shape positive perceptions that are critical to the success of any...
Media relations is a public relations function. It's a function of public relations. So because of that, a lot of people are seeing the need to join the Institute. Moreover, in recent times, the profile of the Institute has gone up so highly. We are now adding value. We are identifying and designing programs that add value to the nation, to the people.
For her contribution to the profession and the Institute, the Pioneer Managing Director of NNPC Foundation Limited, Emanuela Arukwe, was honored with Honorary Fellow of the Institute.
And it's a booster for me to do much more social impact and make sure that anything we are doing, that these values, which are incidentally aligned with the values of NNPC of integrity, excellence, and also sustainability. So the values are mutually kind of aligned. So we're excited about this. It's supposed us to better work, and this means a lot, not only to myself, but also to all the members, senior management team in the foundation, and all the staff in the NNPC Foundation, and also NNPC Limited.
The body says reviving the Institute, certifying practitioners by law, and reaching out to stakeholders in the sector is changing the narrative that has shown that media relations in Nigeria is being embraced. Haman Jabani, Nta News.
This is the news at 10 on Nta News24. More reports after this break. Welcome back. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has been conferred with an honorary Doctor of Management award by the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports that the First Lady was among 3 eminent Nigerians who got the honor at the 36th convention ceremony of the institution.
That procession featuring Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu kickstarts the academic ceremony that adds another feather to her already well-decorated cap, this time as a Doctor of Management honoris causa conferred on her by the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, bagged a similar award, while his counterpart from Borno State, Professor Babangana Zulum, was conferred with Honorary Doctor of Technology Award. A consummate seeker of knowledge, the First Lady is thrilled by the honor. There and then, she announced her intention to launch a green environmental club.
To drive environmental awareness, particularly propel a proper disposal of plastic waste across the country. So we want you to be green ambassadors, and I look forward to working with some of you in the nearest future. Today, with my love for and support for education, I have donated already the sum of 50 million naira as an endowment fund for the overall best graduating female student of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri.
I, as the governor of Imo State, will resolve all the land issues, working with the communities. The most important thing that I want to advise this university, as an academician, is to ensure that the type of courses that they should run in this university should create jobs.
The conferment, which is a major highlight of the 36th convocation ceremony of the institution, is in recognition of the First Lady's immense contributions to the development and management of human resources.
Your selection for conferment of this award is an eloquent testament to your selfless service to humanity.
The Council is proud of the sterling achievements of our students.
The right questions, ladies and gentlemen, should always be, what should I do for future? And what can I do to make Nigeria a better country?
A total of 632 postgraduate students received various awards at the convocation. From Owerri, Adeni Taiwo, Nta News.
Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement, Dr. Adebowale Adedokun, has emphasized the need to enhance skills of procurement officers to ensure proper implementation of government projects. This was during a stakeholders meeting on National Procurement Certification Framework held in Abuja. Nta News24 reports.
Results show that many procurement officers lack adequate training and expertise in managing complex procurement processes. This usually results in poor planning, inefficient contract management, and disputes with contractors. It is for this reason that federal government, supported by World Bank, introduced the Sustainable Procurement, Environment and Social Standards Enhancement Project to train procurement officers. Bureau of Public Procurement is one of the implementing agencies for the project, and the DG says officers cannot continue to practice procurement with rudimentary knowledge.
Now we want to be scientific. We want to be driven by professionalism. So that's what government has said. Go and turn procurement cadre into a professional cadre that is globally, nationally competitive. That's what we are here for.
This is a capacity building program with the aim of training professionals in the areas of procurement, environmental standards and social standards.
The program is anchored in 6 federal universities in Nigeria, after which participants are expected to submit themselves to the implementing agencies for certification. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, Nta News.
The media is a critical platform to amplify messages to reach the wider society in the need to promote women empowerment, girl-child education, and a wider stance against gender-based violence, among other societal ills. These were the views of stakeholders during a media lunch organized by Broad Sustainable Women Empowerment, Peace Initiatives, Girl-Child Education and Prevention Against Gender-Based Violence, held in Gwarimpa, Abuja. Ibrahim Belogunda reports.
Broad Sustainable Women Economic Empowerment Peace Initiatives, Girl-Child Education and Prevention Against Gender-Based Violence is a non-governmental organization with a view to repositioning and empower women to contribute to development of society and amplify their voices for peace and security. The launch attracted media organizations in Abuja with a view to providing platforms to share BSWIP impact stories, foster collaborations, and ensure Nigerians are sensitized.
The lunch we have today is a platform for collaboration, for cooperation with the media, for us to amplify some of our success stories, but to also thank them and appreciate them for being there for us, for supporting us. We have had a lot of program appearances on the NTA.
Also suffer additional forms of exploitation and deprivation as women. And the children also have challenges of their own. And so she mooted the idea of doing something to make a contribution in addressing these challenges.
Anything you do and is not on the media has not been done. So we are not unmindful of that. That's why we're making next year, one of our focus for next year will be to broaden our media relationship.
Any initiative that has to do with, that has to do with the empowerment of women and girls in the society, we are there 100% and one. So all we have to do is to continue to amplify the voices of those people that are there to support us, to make sure that women and girls, attain their rightful position on this earth.
During the lunch, this BSWIP team presented its scorecard, including its success stories, challenges and future plans, and how the media can come in to make it a success. BSWIP is an empowerment project of the wife of former governor of Bauchi State, Hadiza Muhammad Abubakar. In Abuja, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, Nta News.
An award of honor for community and national service has been conferred on the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NATI, Orji Ogwonna Orji, for aligning the agency's policies with the vision of President Bola Tinubu's 1 million trillion economy by 2030. This was at the end of the year cultural day of Nzuko Arochukwu Abuja chapter. Bosede Abel Amosun reports that the honor is for his contributions towards national development in several ways, especially in the area of transparency and accountability.
It's patience, self-improvement, passion for competence, and passion for integrity. And dedication to do too.
I'm sure that this will really encourage him and make him to do more, to be more dedicated to his work.
So that's why we are enthusiastic to say, you have done so much, you have done so much. Today, we have to recognize your activities within the community.
And that concludes the News at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.